I can't think. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, like I was saying, I took the idea from Chipotle. Chipotle took it from me. But you're the first.
What am I supposed to do?
I've had at least like 6 or 7 people in my apartment, not including my parents. You're the first person who's ever noticed it.
Yeah.
Aside from my mom, every time my mom brings somebody, like her friend, it's like, oh, look what my son did.
Yeah.
You know how moms are. But how are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. You know.
Thank you for
pretty
being
good.
here, man. You're one of my first few guests, and when I thought about the show, I was like, I have to have my friend Steven, dude. Like, he's so cool, he's so wise for someone so young. And yeah, guys, welcome back to the Procopio Show. I got a really good friend of mine, Steven, also known as DSEMBR. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
It's funny how, first of all, we'll get to that, dude. Steven, how are you today, though?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
We just finished chanting, and
Yeah.
it was a really cool experience because I didn't get to tell you, but normally when I chant with others, it's like, okay, I'm chanting, but I also feel like I'm being heard. But now it's less like, oh, I feel like I was being God. And yeah, man. Steven, thank you for being here. I can't wait to what we're gonna get into today. It'll be a really cool episode. I'm really looking forward because you have a really cool story, and you practice something very beautiful, and I want the whole world to see it, or whoever's watching, probably my mom, and whoever we decide to send it later. So please tell me your story, man. Tell me your origin story. Whatever you feel comfortable sharing, man.
Yeah,
Don't hold back.
Born in Maryland. Born and raised in Maryland. I'm 23 years old. I'm in school right now at Towson. I make music.
Yeah, you make music, dude. How long you been making music?
So I started in like freshman year of high school.
High school.
Yeah.
And
that's like when I really got in. Well, that's when I really like took my first steps into it. Yeah.
What was it like? Was it a special instrument? Was it an artist? Tell me about that.
Nah, it was. Well, I guess my first instrument I played in 5th grade. I was playing the drums, but that was just like some school type.
It was a gig.
Yeah.
Did you like it though?
It was fun. I mean, it was fun because like I had friends that did play band too, so like it was like a cool opportunity to hang with my friends. My brother was in the band, so.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it
Is
was
he
like
still in the band?
Nah. It was like the school band, like elementary, like.
Oh, okay. Like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
School. That's
yeah,
cool
yeah.
stuff. What I was gonna tell you, and then how did that lead into you making music?
I think it kind of just happened actually. Like freshman year of high school, I was at the Malta, and like I was playing football. I was playing like sports and stuff, but like after the season was done, I wasn't like a super studious kid. So like after the season was done and we would have practice, like we didn't have practice anymore. I was looking for stuff to do after school, like when I got home, and I was really interested. I was like, dang, like I might as well. I don't know. Some just told me like I'm kind of interested in looking up how to make music. You know, like how to make music online. So I just looked that up, and it brought me to this like website called Audio Sauna.
Oh, really? I heard about that.
Yeah.
Is it still around?
I think so. I think you can download it off Google Chrome. It's like a Chrome extension or something. But like it's basically like a site that you could just use to make beats.
Okay.
And it was a really cool way for me to get into it. Like.
So you started making beats.
Yeah, like I just made like I figured out how to like make something, then I figured out how to export it. So I just started out making like 8-second loops, and then I was just making like little beats and stuff here and there, but they weren't anything crazy. It was like all rough stuff, like just like kind of throwing sounds together type, like I mean, it was cohesion, but you know.
Do you still have it around? Like, do you still go back in here and like, dang, I used to make that?
I do have those beats somewhere on my Google Drive. I don't really listen to them like that. I have certain times where like I'll just spend like a couple hours listening to a lot of stuff that I made, and like I'll get lost in it a little bit. But no, I don't really go back and listen like that to those beats unless it's just like for fun kind of thing.
Gotcha. But you say you get lost. What do you mean by you get lost?
Like sometimes, because I've made so much music over the years,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'll just like listen back and appreciate the journey. Because with every beat, there's kind of also like not exactly a story, but just like a feel for where I was like at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So like some beats have more of a trap feel because like I was just around more, like that was the music I was around, or that was kind of the vibe I was around. I was never like a streets kid or nothing like that, but like,
But the music was around you.
yeah, the music was around me. I was around some of the people too at the time, so it was just like it kind of like influenced my music in a certain way. But there's definitely times where I listen to my music and I can kind of tell where it was coming from. Also, like, was it more of like a organic place, or was it more like me trying to like create a, I don't want to say imitation, but you know, kind of like just trying to fit into a certain
Yeah, it's
genre
like,
or something
okay.
like that. Yeah.
So when you hear an old song, do you go back to how you used to feel? Like you say you made a lot of beats. When you hear it sounds is very tuned in tune with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and you listen to this beat and you're like, oh, I remember that's like.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you feel it?
Yeah,
sometimes?
yeah. Definitely. I definitely like, cause I also name them a specific way too. Just like, I kind of name beats on like whatever's in the vicinity or like whatever I'm going through. So, yeah, they kind of just all remind me of a specific feel, the sounds I use, like the style, the genre, the speed.
Wow.
Yeah, it's definitely an emotional process, bro. But like, it's cool.
That's pretty cool. It sounds
Yeah.
like a superpower. It's like, oh, I'm able to travel back in time and feel what I felt. That's cool. And where did the lyrics start coming in?
I think I was always kind of like freestyling over my stuff, just sort of as like almost to complement the beat making process, like, or like to complement the music. I would come up with some lyrics. So it was never like I mean, I guess I kind of had like song ideas. Like as a kid, I kind of saw myself on the stage. I think like I don't know. I feel like most kids would probably have that like vision of like being on a stage.
Oh, plenty of times.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I listen to music and I see myself performing that song.
Yeah,
And even
yeah.
if it's not my song, guy, this is the imaginary.
You know, yeah. You just listen to something on the radio and you're like, that's me. I'm there.
Like,
no,
I get that for sure, dude. But when I hear your music, it sounds like the beat. It's like you're taking us in this journey, right? And the lyrics is just like guiding you, really. The lyrics like complements the beat, but it's the beat is like the main showman, almost like the sound behind the lyrics. It's almost the main song, and the lyrics is just kind of like an like here's a little taste.
Yeah.
And I love that about your music. I was telling you earlier, like your music definitely has a different genre to it. It's like a combination of new things and old things, but it just like I hear it and I'm like, oh, that's Stevie, dude. That's the summer right there, dude. And I just heard your new song. What was that all about? What can you tell me about that song? Remind me the name of the song, because I generally forget names of songs.
If I remember.
Oh, we got cheat. Let's cheat.
I just dropped it and I was
like literally the 15 or the 14, something like that. You just dropped this song, and when you were texting me, I overheard it for the second time just to kind of prepare for this interview. And I was just like, this is nice, dude.
Thank you, man. Energy. How could I forget? Yeah.
Energy. I mean, you say you do make a lot of music, dude, so it's like...
Yeah, so...
tell me about Energy.
I had came home from school. I was home maybe for like a couple days. I was on like a week break for Thanksgiving. And I hadn't really wrote a lot like in the months prior to that. I was kind of in like a songwriting slump just because of all the other music I was working on, like other projects and academic kind of music stuff, and I was just in a different headspace, I guess. Like I always say, like when I'm at school, writing music is way different than like when I'm at home.
Really?
It feels different, yeah.
What is the difference?
I think like when I'm at school, my thinking is more mechanical, and like it's more like,
oh,
you know,
yeah.
It's more like, all right, I got to do this and I got to do this and I got to do this.
It's like you're in auto mode. It's just like you got to get things done. And you're home. It's just like you're home.
Yeah, you know, I can kind of relax a little bit and like.
That's wonderful.
Pick apart what I'm trying to do and marinate, I guess, is probably the best word. But
where did the name Energy came from?
I feel like the song and the beat, it had a really like it felt like movement, like it felt like motion.
It definitely felt like waves to me.
Yeah.
That's why I
you
kept
know?
bringing up the word waves, because
Yeah.
that's after hearing it, like the word waves kept coming into my head.
Yeah,
It was
definitely.
like waves to me is energy.
To me, like when I hear that beat, it kind of sounds like it's sprinting or like it's running through like just running through like some jungle or like something like that.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay,
you
I can
know,
see that.
so it's kind of like energy there, like just something moving fast kind of thing. So, and then the lyrics also kind of go with that. They're kind of, if you notice, I said what I said the first time, like the verse, and then I just said it again. I just, looped it twice. So it kind of in that way, it's kind of like cyclical. And I kind of do that with a lot of my music too. Like,
Okay.
I try to have it in cycles. So
Nah, it's pretty cool. Like I said, like the lyrics is always complement the actual beat in the song, and that's one thing I love about, like I said, your music. So me and you were just finished chanting, and we became friends at the SGI Center. And I want to tell my audience what's SGI. Like, tell me about, you've been practicing Buddhism for how long? But not just any Buddhism, Japanese,
Nichiren Buddhism.
Nichiren?
Yeah.
Nichiren?
Nichiren.
Nichiren Buddhism.
Yeah, with the SGI, Soka Gakkai International.
Can you tell us like the fundamentals? Like if I want to invite somebody over, what should I tell them about him?
Well, we chant a chant. We chant this phrase called Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, which translates to devotion to the mystic law of cause and effect.
Say that again.
Devotion to the mystic law of cause and effect.
Devotion to the cause of.
Yeah, or devotion to the mystic law of cause and effect through sound and vibration.
Okay, that's what I remember hearing.
Yeah, through sound and vibration. Yeah, so.
The sound and vibration meaning the chant?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then I also like to think that like vibration is sort of almost like on the, we kind of exist on a vibrational level. I guess like atoms and everything is vibrating all the time, so it kind of correlates in a scientific way too. That's how
when I heard that, I kind of had a similar idea. But what's different about this type of Buddhism practice, unlike others?
Yeah, well, I guess I would say like there are a lot of great sources. Buddhability is one place that has really great articles, really great podcasts with experiences. And then also there's like local community centers and the SGI.
The SGI.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so there's like a lot of, because I don't want to miss something and then feel like
No.
But
I wanna get like like imagine like I'm in the headspace, like I'm trying to relearn what this is, right?
Yeah.
And you were just explaining to me the cause and effect. And to me, the cause and effect, it was like, okay, I still, in some way, this is gonna come back to me. That I'm telling you, like the original thought of cause and effect. You can correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm in the same way. Like, but I'll steal something, and somehow something will disappear from my life.
Yeah, basically that's kind of like that's like a breakdown of it, basically. Like,
okay, so I wasn't that far off.
Yeah, no, you're not far off at all. I think like the way I explained it to you earlier is probably the way I would just re-explain it. Like,
yeah,
every day, like I can choose to make causes that are almost like investments into myself,
okay,
or investments into my life, or investments in the future. It's kind of like, what do I want my return to be?
Okay.
So that's kind of how I think about it, and chanting is just a way to like almost like put everything into perspective of the causes I'm making.
Right.
Because chanting itself is a cause, so it's almost like just even taking that time to invest is an investment.
Yeah.
So
it's like you're adding into your little piggy bank here and there of karma.
Exactly.
So can I ask you, in your words, how would you define karma? Because to me, it's as complicated as it is not. So I always ask this question, like, what is karma? How?
I guess it's like the law of cause and effect.
The law of cause and effect, right?
Everything happens. Every action has a reaction.
Okay.
I guess you could say, right? Every action has a reaction. So I kind of think of it as like everything is connected, basically. Like every gear turns the whole thing,
Okay, so I do something in positive or negative, and it will have a cost on somebody in a positive or negative way.
Yeah.
But it really starts from within, right? I noticed that a big thing about this practice starts from within. And what can you offer? How how your actions has consequences.
Yeah.
Mainly on yourself.
Yeah.
And how you go about it. And then chanting, it's like I say, like a positive habit that you invest in yourself.
Yeah.
And then it reflects into your karma and then into other people, right?
Yeah.
I'm still learning this, so it's like I gotta play with the ideas as much as I can.
I think a great way to think about it is that, you know, with this practice, the ball is always in your court.
Right.
You know, like it's never up to an outside force how you do in life. You know, that's how I try to think about it. So, yeah, I just always try to remember, like you mentioned earlier, accountability. I try to just remember that, like, I am responsible for myself and my actions and my life, and even like the way that people treat me. You know what I mean? Because relationships are a mirror in that way. So it's like what I'm putting in is what I'll get back.
Yeah, I can hear that because I remember when my previous relationships, I put a lot of nasty karma in there, and it came back to me in a very negative way, and I would blame others. But then when I finally realized, like, wait a minute, I gotta take accountability. I gotta do something about it. So when I heard about Buddhism from a long time ago, it's like, okay, whatever. But then I went to an actual SGI meeting, which was very intimidating the first time. Intimidating because we chant, and it's not just like any chanting. Like you said, the Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, but imagine that times quite a lot of people. So like when I stepped in and I heard all that noise, I'm just like, oh. But anyways, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so whatever I put into my life kind of came back to me in a negative way. So it kind of resonates a lot. So you've been a Buddhist for how long?
So I was born into the practice.
Okay.
My grandma was introduced in like the 80s, I think.
80s.
Yeah, and then my dad kind of picked it up from her when he was young, when he was like 14ish.
Okay.
And all her kids generally, but a couple of them are like practicing strong now, like my dad and my aunt. But you know, he would like encourage me to chant, and like as a kid, like it didn't really make sense to me. I guess you could say, like, I didn't have any real reason to chant. I was a kid. I wanted to play video games and stuff. Like it just didn't click for me. Like karma and responsibility, like that was all kind of abstract stuff. But I guess like as I got older, I would say around like 18, I would say maybe like 17 to 20ish. I kind of went through like I guess I would call it a depression, but like it's just kind of I went through a phase of like realizing that like real life is real. Like you can't just like avoid your life, you know? Like
sounds like you experienced life.
Yeah, it's just like growing up and maturing, I guess, and kind of just understanding that like at a certain point, like you're responsible for yourself. And I think that was kind of like just a realization that was tough for me because, you know, as a kid, so much of your life is dictated by those around you.
Yeah.
That you don't even...
A lot of it's out of your control.
You know? So, you know, it's just growing up. And, like, my dad kind of really helped me through that time. He got me to, like, we went to see a therapist because I was, like, depressed and stuff. And he, you know, he kind of gently encouraged me. He was like, you know, I do this chanting thing, you know, like, you can always try chanting. And, like, it was in my life because I had done it as a kid, just, you know, kind of like a family tradition kind of thing. But I guess that was really the turning point for me to be like, okay, like, I'll give this a genuine try. And I think the first time I chanted, I immediately felt, like, just more hopeful about my situation. Even though nothing had changed on the outside, like, I was still in the same place. I didn't really have, like, I was, like, fresh out of high school. I had dropped out of college, like, my first semester. So, like, it was kind of tough, you know? Like, I didn't really know where I was going. I knew I wanted to do the music thing, but I didn't really know where to go with that and, like, what to do. Still figuring that out, you know, but, like, I was definitely in a different place back then. And, like, I just felt, even with all that craziness that was going on, all the stuff I was hearing about and reading about, stuff on the internet, of course, that's always an influence nowadays. Like, I was like, okay, like, things haven't immediately changed on the surface, but I know that I'll be okay and I can take a step forward. And I think that was the biggest thing, like, just believing in myself. I think that's what really kind of sparked it for me. I don't think I had felt like that on that level before. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you going through life, and this is around the end of high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your dad didn't force you. He was like, "Hey, dude, check this out."
Yeah.
Just to do a quick recap in my head,
Mm-hmm.
and then you did it, and like you said, when did you started to see the change? Because you said at first, like you didn't see the immediate change, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you felt something different.
Yeah, I felt.
And you was like, okay, let's put more faith into this. When did you started to put? When did you started to? Sorry, when did you started to realize the changes? Like I'm like, oh wow, like my life is in a much better trajectory now because of this.
Mm-hmm. I guess it was like a perspective shift. I kind of started taking advantage of more opportunity, like seeing the. I was able to see more opportunities in my life than I had before, and it's not like things were necessarily just like popping up out of thin air, but it was like me just taking another closer look at my own life and like what was there and what I could do with what I had available. Right. So just like, yeah, jumping on more opportunities and having appreciation for those opportunities. I think that was a big thing. Like,
so you have like a more open mindset to life, and say like, oh, there's something here. Let's see what this is about.
Yeah, and the courage to like go for things.
That's mad radical, man, because so many people are so blinded by their own struggles and everyone else's struggles that I feel like, first of all, what you went through is quite awesome because you are a very wise person for your age. Like at 23, not many people have figured out what you figure out, and that's one of the things I love about you is like your age and your maturity is so cool to me. And I see a lot of people now in going through hard times, mainly to their own doing kind of thing. Like they don't realize that their karma is really due to themselves. So it's like I feel like this practice will be great for those kind of people, wouldn't you think?
Yeah,
for
I think
people going through.
I think the
practice help them realize.
Yeah, I think the practice is great for everybody because at the end of the day, my dad always says it like, this is kind of a crude way to say it, but everybody's, what stinks. Like everybody's poop stinks. So like it's kind of like, like everybody has stuff going on. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just one of those things that I feel like it can change anybody's life for the better.
Right.
No matter like how good or bad your life is. So.
Can I ask you something? Mm-hmm. Back to your music, how do you feel like your practice and has influenced your music?
That's a great question, I think.
Thank you. Like, I just thought about it.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like, no, I wrote it down early, and I'm like, don't forget this question.
It really is a great question. I feel like definitely I've made music. I've been making music now with, like, more intention. Like in my songwriting, it's almost kind of made it harder because I'm like, I feel more responsible for the stuff I put out
really?
Right now. Yeah, like I don't really want to put out anything that I feel like isn't like aligned with what I'm trying to push as a human being in my day-to-day.
What your beliefs and your values.
Exactly. So
wow.
Definitely it's influenced my songwriting. But I think overall it's just made me more in tune with like myself. It's made the process a lot more organic and a lot more like honest. I think that's a big thing because like a lot of music and I think any art can get like superficial or like you chase a trend or you're chasing like validation or whatever, so you end up like just doing stuff that isn't really aligned with who you are. But I think this practice has made me like, I mean, through the practice, I've been able to explore myself and like explore things that I like in life, things I don't like in life, where I'm trying to go, what I'm trying to do. So I think in the music, I've been able to find myself in the music, I guess.
Wow,
yeah.
That's
yeah.
Like I'm processing. That's mad deep, dude. Finding yourself, and the reason why I say that is because I'm 29 going into 30s and I'm just now starting to like get in that wavelength. It's like, let me find who I am. And this show also helps me with that because I get to learn new things and I get to reflect on how that's affecting me.
Yeah.
And I know I'm turning this question into me, but like, Damn, dude, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And
Mm-hmm.
can we expect anything new? Like you
Yeah.
working on anything in an album or anything crazy?
I'm not working. Actually, I am working on some projects. I'm
Alright.
working on a project with an artist from London.
Oh snap!
Yeah, they're really dope. Name's Incognito. They're really dope. They got some really great stuff out, and so we're working on some stuff. Yeah, just trying to work with as many people as I can. I'm
Awesome.
engineering at a studio in Baltimore called Waterhouse.
Man.
Yeah, it's really
So
dope.
it's funny because you said like earlier you said something along the side that you don't know where this is gonna take you, kind of vibe, right?
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's already taking you where you need to be. You're making music,
Mhm.
you know, you're working on new projects, and it's just going out from here, just doing what you love. Dude.
Yeah, I guess
And-
that's the, I guess because I'm graduating.
yeah.
I'm going into my last semester in college, so like there's a lot of pressure as like far as, I mean, just internally I feel a lot of pressure,
Right.
just as far as like, okay, I gotta build something for myself, like I gotta build. And so like even something like this, I look around, it's like, dang, like this is nice,
Mhm.
I don't have this right now. So there's things I know there's steps I know I'm gonna need to take post graduation. So just trying to like, that's one of my big goals right now, is like trying to align like the things that I know I need to do and the things that I know I want to do, kind of like make my path forward.
Dang, dude, I can't wait to see where this takes you. I'm very privileged to be part of this journey, just in the smallest ways, just by having this interview. Because like, dude, I'm telling you, like the craziest things are gonna happen, and I'm gonna be with it.
Thank you.
Like whatever happens, dude, you're gonna have fun, man. And the beautiful thing is, you have this beautiful practice. And thank you, seriously, thank you for expressing all this love, man. And let's keep on rocking. I can't wait to hear your new music, guys. Check them out on Spotify,
Apple Music, YouTube.
YouTube,
Got some stuff on SoundCloud.
on SoundCloud, yo. My dude,
Yeah,
I love you, man.
appreciate it.
Thank you
man.
so much for being here. Guys, this has
man.
been another episode of the Procopio Show. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed my friend's journey. And yeah, check them out. If not, well, go watch something else.